Welcome my felting friends to September's Enchanted Forest picture. This is the one we're going to do. It's not actually that difficult, it didn't take me quite as long as some of the others, and it was very enjoyable. So let's crack on and I'll show you how it's done. So I'm going to start off today with the sky colour, and I'm mixing my pewter with a very pale blue. So we're going to start off just putting the pale blue first on the top, and then in a moment we'll mix some of that pewter into it as well, because I'm going to be creating distance here. So this is where I start to mix in the pewter. It hasn't got to be absolutely perfect, but I do like it reasonably well mixed. Nice and big. I'm laying it nice and thinly, but obviously I want to make sure I cover up what's underneath as well. And then I'm mixing a little bit of green in with that colour as well, because I want to have the look of distant trees, things like that, just a bit of green in the background. So I'm just going to layer over bits and pieces, as you see. Obviously felt it in well. So I'm still, now this isn't mixed in with it, I'm just making it a little bit thicker in places. I want the distance look of tree canopies, so this is what I'm fiddling around with at the moment, trying to get. And I'm not worried, as you know, if I'm going over my lines, it doesn't matter. Talking of which, if you want the drawing, it's in the description box below. It's completely free, go and download it if you'd like to have it. But you can draw your own and just use this as an idea if you want to. So here you can see I'm still laying bits of green, bits of my pewtery colour. Now I'm taking that same pewter, as I do quite often in my pictures, and I'm putting in some tree trunks in the back. Because this is such a nice colour, and the trees will just disappear into the distance. So the reason we've made it to this tree is, if you remember, the fox gave us a key, and we followed a glowing key and it led us to this tree. So now we're at the tree and we can see inside is a door. You haven't seen it yet, but we're going to have a door in there, and there will be a little door, and the light all around the door is glowing, and you can see the keyhole as well. So we know that we're really meant to go up inside this tree and through this glowing door, but we don't know what's on the other side of this door yet. So I've mixed some darker brown in with the pewter now, just so I can start to bring the trees forward. But the thing about this door is, are we brave enough to open the door and go through? We shall see. So now we're putting some greenery up very thinly as normal, and it's just going to represent some of the tree leaves in the distance, because the time of day now is it's dusk, but it's starting to just beginning to get dark. So now we're going to put some greenery on the ground as well. This is going to be the more shady side, so that's why I'm going to have that a bit darker. You'll see as we go. So that's just my bluey green with a kind of mossy green colour. So although it's getting dark, we've found this little door, we don't know yet whether it's going to be a place that we can go inside like a little room and sleep, or whether it leads to somewhere else. So it's all about whether we're brave enough to go inside and open the door. Now, although the sun is basically set and it's starting to get dark, You do still have a lighter and a darker side. So that's why I'm putting bits of lighter colour on that side. And I'm trying to mix the greens up a little bit because I don't want it too boring and flat with all one colour. So you'll have to let me know in the comments, are you brave enough to go through the door? So now we're just going to do my usual thing and build in some trees that are a bit closer. Because as always, we're working on having some depth into our picture, so we can look through to the distance and it looks like you could walk into the picture. That's what I like to go for. And if you've been following along with my pictures now and having a go at a few, you're probably getting quite good at that now. And if you've been following along and having a go at any of the pictures, if you want to, I'm thinking about doing a little showcase around, I think I would do it for the 26th of December. So if you have been following along and you've finished the pictures, they don't have to be amazing, it's the thought that counts, and if you've had a go, then you're brilliant. And what I thought I might do was, if you submit them over on my Facebook group, make sure you answer the questions, otherwise I will not be able to let you in. But if you submit them over there, I will gather them up if you're happy for me to do so. And if enough people put some in, I will make a little video for December the 26th and show your picture and put your name up, unless you say to me you don't want your name up. So if that's something that interests you, I say I don't know, because it depends if anybody's had a go and anybody would like to be shown on YouTube with their pictures. So remember that, join the Facebook group that's listed below, make sure you answer the questions, and then just submit your picture, and I will make this video for the 26th of December. So here obviously I'm doing my usual thing, so I've put my dark brown down and then I'm just giving some light where the light would be coming from. Because it won't be long in the woodland now, as the sun's going down, that the fireflies will come out and things like that, so we'll have to make our decisions on going through the door before that. There isn't actually going to be a poll for this month's for October's picture, because I have something I've saved and I really want to do it, so you'll have to forgive me for not giving you the choice for the October, but I hope you like it, and I've been looking forward to doing it, so that's the one we're getting. So it looks like you might get forced through the door anyway. So anyway, I'm just adding these trees in as I normally do. I'm not making them too big because the tree with the steps in is actually going to be a big tree. So the other ones, I don't want them to be too dramatic in the background. And if you look with the greenery for the leaves in the sky, I've just really done slightly different colours, little bits of light, little bits of dark. So here in the distance I've got some bluey green that I've mixed in with the grass green just now, and I'm just putting a little bit of that in the distance, just so it has that distant look of like bushes and things. So now I'm starting on the big tree, and this is my darkest brown I possess, and I'm putting that down first. So I'm going to block in the whole tree in this dark brown. And I'm going to pop in some roots and things as well, because I want the tree and all the rest that goes inside it to look like it's more or less in the bank. So although it does look a little bit like a weird spider to start with, some of those roots will vanish a bit and things like that, so not to worry too much about those. And the other thing about this tree is it goes a long way up further, so if you think about it, you're at the bottom of the tree here. So it's a tall tree, so you're going to have a few leaves from the lower branches. That's all we're having here really. So you're going to pop in some branches, as many as you want, and then we'll put some leaves and things over them in a minute. And if you look, there's a weird thing about sometimes when you're doing paintings, drawings, anything, you end up putting patterns in. And if you look, to me, I've almost repeated the roots on the branches, which I didn't notice it initially, and then I thought, oh, that's a little odd. I might need to change that, change that a little bit, because that's the thing I do try to watch out for, is that I don't make patterns, which to me, I don't know whether you can see it, but that's like a pattern. That's almost, it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of a mirror. Anyway, so here we're breaking up the brown with some lighter brown, as you can see. I'm just going to put that over the top, all the way over, because I now want to make the trunk look like it's got bark on it. So I dot the dark brown, then a medium brown, and then I will take this colour that I'm using for the path, which is just a beige, no particular colour really, and I will put a little bit of that over the trunk, and then I will go back over it with the dark colour again, but you'll see that in a minute. So here I'm just blocking in, so I know where the path is. I'm just blocking that in now. So I've taken a little bit, just a hint, and I'm just going to lay it over the top, because I've got little bits of highlight on that as well. But I don't want it too much. I don't want it as bright as it is now, so although I'm laying that down, I will go back over it with a little bit more of the medium brown I used. Not the darkest brown, just the kind of reddy brown I put on just now. But it all helps to give it that illusion of bark. Can't believe we're in September's picture already. It's gone so fast this year. Right, so I've got a little bit of more, as you can see, reddy brown here, and I've actually mixed it with a bit of my pewter. And I'm laying it on very, very thinly, but I just wanted to warm the trunk up, because at the moment it's quite if I said a cold looking trunk, it's dull, well, not dull, but it's where the red in it will warm it up. I'm hoping you know what I mean. So I'm adding a bit of that just to bring it to life a little bit. And here I'm just putting some of that base dark brown I had, and I'm putting that back in, just a few bits like this, because I want it to look like it's got some real depth to this trunk. Bits of crack and splits in it and things like that. It's a very, very old tree, this one. Now I'm mixing the brown that I used for the tree, the dark one, and I'm mixing it with black. And I'm going to put in some shadow bits. And then I will use that same colour in a minute to fill in the whole of that hole in the tree. But first I need to darken this side down quite a lot. and that's some shadow under the roots and in between the roots and things. So some of these roots will get covered up quite a lot in a minute. Again, with that same dark colour, I'm just putting in some bits where the light wouldn't get to it. And this is just a few extra thin branches just to give it a bit more interest. So you can put as many of those as you'd like. So now this is that mixture I've just been using to darken the tree down, and this is just a mixture of black and very dark brown, because I don't like to use black completely on its own. A few extra little leaves on the lower branches, nice and thin again. Now here I've got, it's like a fox red, so I'm just going to put a few tiny bits of this. I don't want loads of it, I just want a little bit, just to add some real pop to the tree trunk. But you need to be sparing with this, otherwise it would look weird. And then I'm just going to start adding a little green up the tree, a little bit of moss and things on some of the roots and stuff like that. Now I'm marking in now with this brighter orangey colour. I'm marking in the door because I'm going to do the light colour and then I'm going to go over that and sort of put in the planks. So it won't look this colour when we finish the door. I was going to have a staircase, as I showed you in the poll, for the whole thing, but I thought it was actually nicer to have something that the stairs were going to. So we do still have some stairs in it, but I thought it was nicer, especially as we've got a key. We need to open something with the key, don't we? So I decided to pop a little door in. I didn't know when I started the picture it was going to have a door. As usual, I changed my mind a lot. But it just sort of came to me that it would look nicer with a little door. So as you can see, I put the bright colour and then I'm just using the darker colour, and I'm going to darken it down a bit more yet to put in the planks. That is actually, I don't normally use it, but that is black. I'm outlining the door in a straight black because in a minute I'm going to put something else over that, so it won't be so bad. And it's a little bit of black around the edge as well. Again, that will get blended in later. but I need to work on a way eventually to make the door look like it's actually inside the tree trunk. So I'm just basically working on planks in there, just little bits of darker brown and things. And now we're going to have the glow from around the door. But it is a magical door, so you can only open it with a special key. And we've been very lucky to be given the key. So I've got the bright yellow around the door, then I've gone around the outer edge as I'm doing now with a little bit of orange. Because I want it to look like it's glowing a bit. And then we're going to start to build up the staircase. And if you didn't want to do this inside the tree, you could make the door at the tree so that you have to, the tree is actually set in, the door is actually set in the tree trunk itself, if you didn't want to do the steps and the door inside it. Both would work. We will come back and do some more on the door and the steps in a bit. And then I've got some of the dark brown that I used for the tree trunk, the very first dark brown, and I'm just making little planks. And these don't have to be straight or anything like that. So now we're going to make some grass in my usual way, just mixing different greens together. While I'm thinking about it, actually, I will just mention I have a Patreon now, and on that I've started like a mini series of felting different trees, and this tree for September is how to felt an oak tree. So I'm going to do a different tree each month in it. So if you fancy knowing how to felt an oak tree, then if you have a look in the description box below, somewhere it tells you the Patreon page. There's other things on there obviously as well, but just as we're doing trees, I thought I'd mention it. What I'm doing is I'm doing a tree each month, and then there's a poll for what tree everybody would like for the following month. So here you can see I've started to cover up some of those roots a bit with grass and things. Because as I say, I want it to look like the tree is actually really well settled into that bank. And then just to balance the yellow that I've got in the around the little door, I decided I'd have a little orange bush over here. I have no idea what it is, but we're almost into autumn, so it can be kind of orangey colour. I just thought it was a nice little extra bit of colour. I didn't want too much of it because I want your eye really to go to the tree and the door, not to the little orange bush. So I'm just adding a bit of yellow stalks as well there. And at this point I couldn't decide whether the front area where I've just put that yellow was going to be like flat ground or have grass on it, so that's why I've put that bit in there first. Still working on branches. Now I thought, well, we best have, I haven't done any toadstools for a little bit. Last year that's all I seemed to do, so I thought we'll have a few in here. Nice little bit of colour around the tree as well, so draw your eye to the tree. And I'm adding a touch of orange there just for a bit of highlight on the toadstool. And this is just defining, I'm back to that very dark brown I used on the base of the tree, the first brown I put down, and I'm just going round the path a little bit with it. But I'm using my needle, as you can see, to pull it up a little bit into the grass so it's not just a dead straight line. And here on the path again I'm using that same brown, but you can pick all sorts of browns, which I do overlay it a bit, and I layer it up a little bit on the path just to give a little bit more of interest on the path. But as you can see, I just grab very thin bits and lay them basically anywhere, and whatever they turn out like when I've needle felted it down is what I get. Can't have a red toadstool without any white dots. I only put 3 or 4 on, not too much. And the trees in the background were getting a little too lost, so I went down the edges with them with some darkish brown, just down the back edge like this on each one. So that's basically the picture really. I did darken down the door, as you can see. I put a bit more shadow at the top of the door because I wanted it to look set in more, and I did darken down some of the steps a little bit because I thought they were too bright. But that's mainly all I did that was extra, and I'm really pleased with it. I think it turned out really well. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And remember what I said about the picture if you want to submit a picture for the December video. There might be something on the screen now that you'd enjoy watching. If so, I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.